69. Nice.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are obviously not shooting bullets. We're talking about Ace VR. This is something that I have looked at for the last 2 years and thought about for the last 2 years and pulled the trigger on, both figuratively and literally, about a month ago. So I obviously, like anything that I purchase, have to find a way to make this a tax write-off, and so today we are talking about Ace XR, the VR game for dry fire training, and if it is worth the money. Without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about a couple different things here. First of all, why did I buy it? What does it cost? We're going to talk about the benefits for new shooters, benefits that it might have for experienced shooters, and what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then obviously who needs it most and would I recommend purchasing it. And I'm going to spoil the first part. Yes, I would recommend purchasing it, and we'll get into that beyond and deeper moving forward. I think we need to get some disclosures out of the way. Ace in no way, shape, or form sponsored this video. I emailed them and they did not respond to me. I messaged them on Instagram and they did respond to me, and then they had me resend the email, and I resent the email and then they did not respond to me, and then I DM'd them again and they have ghosted me since then. So after they did not respond to me a few times, I decided that I wanted to purchase this anyway because I did. I was just hoping that they would send me the gun for free, but they did not, and so I bought it full price, did not get a big discount. I got the military discount, and then yeah, so gun is very cool. It is 3D printed. It's $200. The VR headset I had to purchase for this, I got for $340 from a dude whose girlfriend broke up with him and he decided he didn't want it. Total Chad move. So I got this for a good deal. I think it's like $500. So all in, you are basically the cost of an actual handgun for the whole kit to get yourself started with Ace, which seems like a lot of money. It sounds like a lot to swallow, and it was, which is why it took me 2 years of seeing them at conventions and hearing my friends talk about Ace and finding out from them if it was beneficial for them and what their thoughts were on it before now, and I obviously have pulled the trigger on it. So some people who do sponsor the channel, Gideon Optics, they make quality budget optics for your guns. Arrowhead Tactical Apparel, they make comfortable carry clothing, and Core Belts this month. Core Belts, if you didn't know this, I've been wearing Core Belts forever, since like 5 years ago, and they're awesome belts for everyday carry. Obviously I'm not using mine for that today. I've got this bag that I've got my gun thrown into because it is hot outside, and so the grab bag kind of keeps it off, and I can keep little snackies in this. So that's what I have today because it is sunny and I am at the water. So if you're interested in any of those products and you want to, more importantly, keep us alive, go ahead and use my code. My code is please. It's please. If you use the code please at checkout, you will get a discount on your order, but more importantly, it lets them know to keep supporting us, and it helps keep my channel alive and let me spend money on things like this that I really don't need, but end up deciding that I do need. So let's talk about what this is. If you live under a rock or you just aren't super into firearms, you might not know what Ace XR is or what this Ace system is, and it's a VR shooting game. You can probably figure that out from the fact that I said you had to buy a VR headset and the fact that I said you had to buy this. So it's a VR shooting game designed to emulate competition scenarios for virtual reality shooting. I do not call it dry fire training because it's really not dry fire training. It's very much like VR. It's not quite live fire, but it's not quite dry fire. Same effect, very different system. And it essentially is just a simulator with matches, and you're probably looking at gameplay footage right now being thrown over the screen. But it simulates that you are competing in ISPC, steel matches, ASI matches, or USPSA. The controller that you get is, like I said, $200, and it is just a 3D printed controller, and I got the Staccato one, and it's actually pretty nice. The controller is not technically necessary for the game. The $13 a month membership is necessary for the game, but the controller is necessary to actually get good training benefits out of it. So you get a weighted controller. This is the weight of a handgun, and then it has a trigger with a brake. So this is more similar to a Glock trigger, but it's on a Staccato, but that's okay because I'm switching to a Glock for carry optics. But I'm going to show you the brake on the trigger. Pull, and it clicks. So pull. So it has a pull and a brake, which is very translates to a real firearm, real steel kind of things. It's about a 4-pound trigger pull, not heavy by any stretch of the imagination, 3.5 to 4 pounds. and you can lighten these up. There are Etsy stores that are selling mod parts to lighten the trigger and make it however you would like to make it. So really cool system. Now the controller operates as a regular handgun in the game, so you will shoot, and then when you need to reload, you press this button here, the magazine release, and tap the bottom. Where does the realism restrict itself? Well, right there. That's where the realism runs out. You have to press the magazine release and tap the bottom. I'm currently working on a Glock version of this, since the file is pretty open source and people already make controllers for these. I will be publicly releasing my version, but there's a guy who is selling a Glock with magazines that fall out. That's what I'm working on right now, and it will be linked in the description below for you to download and print for free. But the gentleman who's selling it, when you press the magazine release, it then drops magazines out, which is really nice. It adds a little level of realism to the reload process. For new shooters, let's talk about Ace for new shooters. If you're a new shooter and you're looking to get into competition shooting, I don't think there's a replacement for this. I wish that I would have had this when I started shooting competitions. I wish I would have had this before I started shooting competitions, because what this does is it presents you with actual matches like USPSA qualifiers and a stand-in box and all of the general what you're going to see when you go to a competition. All the stuff that I had questions about, that I had no idea existed, all the things that I didn't even know were around, or what I was going to walk into, what to expect from USPSA, it will present you with all of that to see. So the starting box, what the targets are called, whether they're poppers or steals, how many shots you typically put into a target, right? Everything, courses, moving targets. That's what this is really, really cool for new shooters, and for experienced shooters alike. So as a new shooter, I think that this is a much better investment than I do for a seasoned shooter who shoots competition all the time. That being said, I still think for a seasoned shooter, this is an excellent option that you might want to consider. If you're a new shooter, there really is no other way. Like I'm saying, I wish I would have had this when I started, because it has so much learning inside of it. It's like so much information. It gets you site acquisition, it gets you transitions. Like I said, it's got poppers, swingers, activated targets that move. Like, those are a big deal for this, and it's something you can't really practice at your regular home range or your public range. And if you can't move around in your range, or you can't set up a course, this is going to give you all of those things that you want. If you're an experienced shooter, this still helps out. I've shot a lot. I haven't shot a lot of competitions, and going into this year's competition, I'm switching from open to carry optics, hence me switching from I have a Stealth Arms Platypus, but I'm switching to a DR920P, or L, DR920L, and that's what I'll be running for competition. So I'm going to, again, hence me printing a Glock version of this and releasing the Glock file. That being said, this will give you the training necessary for that, for carry optics, but more importantly, it has a website, and on that website, they link you to their Facebook group, and there's also a Discord server, which I have not joined, but in the Facebook group, you can see tons of people who are experienced and seasoned shooters talking about their experiences with Ace and how much it has actually improved their match scores. The pure ability to practice different matches like USPSA qualifiers at the push of a button versus trying to set them up and shoot them for real. The time saved is worth it, and the training is worth it for sure, especially someone like me who doesn't live 5 minutes away from my own private range, don't have land that I can easily shoot on, don't have a range that I can use anytime I want to. For me to be able to practice those immediately and from the comfort of my own home is fantastic. Some of the drawbacks is what we're going to get into now. The drawbacks that I found with this is some of the matches do require a lot of movement. There's a certain match that I literally cannot do at all, and the match that I can't do at all, there's a few of them, but one of them, it really stresses me out because it's just like a 6x6 box, but I don't have enough motion or movement ability in my place to do it, so you have to teleport. And it's one where you really should be just taking one step for the order, so take one step out of the box and then take one step to the other way and be done with it. But I cannot get above a bronze because I cannot walk around. While I'm in the park today, I'm going to shoot that and hopefully do it better because now I have some room. So there's the drawback. Like, if you do have limited room, some of the courses, some of the drills have no, like, they require movement, so you'll have to teleport in the game, and teleporting is not super realistic. It's also a little bit harder, in my opinion, to get a better score if you're teleporting. Specifically, like I said, the one where it's a 6x6 box, because you really should just be stepping and shooting, and since you have to teleport, it takes extra time, which slows my time down and obviously makes me in my opinion, a worse shooter. When I first started doing this, I was shooting a bronze level, and in the last week of shooting, I'm Probably most of the time I'm a gold level shooter, so by no means like a master. I got platinum on a lot of them, but with experience comes experience, which comes better shooting ability. So I expect to see that score go up. The other thing that's really cool is it is kind of competitive. There are obviously guys there who just game the system, so you'll see on the Facebook page guys who post with they're starting low ready, but they're starting low ready by pointing at a target, and so the second the beep goes off, they're shooting at the target and moving up, and they don't seem to be fixing anything like that, so gamers gonna game, and that's kind of just how it be. You will obviously be fighting guys who play the VR game just to get the high score and to be the fastest at all costs, and then you'll be the guys who have it for the training aspect. So if you want to play it as just a fun shooter, yeah, it's a fun shooter. It's a great little range game, and then if you want to get the training aspect from it, you can. Humble Marksman is the guy who finally sold me on this. His name's David. He's I consider him to be a good friend of mine. He's one of the most handsome, tall gentlemen that I know, and he, in his review, was talking about how you have to engage your core, you have to engage your grip, you have to engage all your shooting muscles as if you're really shooting.
But what I found immediately in my shooting was two things were very applicable. There is no recoil when you shoot this gun. In theory, you should be able to stack itty-bitty holes on any shot at any distance. But what I found is that I wasn't doing that. I was finding that there was shot separation just like a real gun, but there's no actual recoil in your hand. So why is that? What I learned is how I had to secure the controller in my strong hand, how I had to seat it properly, how I had to adjust my grip from my support hand. I'm pretty much using the exact same grip pressure I use in live fire in order to stabilize the gun where I can get very, very close together pairs when I'm doing hammered pair type stuff.
So when he's saying that, it's totally true. It's like a workout. I find that I play this for half an hour and I'm breathing heavy and sweaty and gross, and I think that that's really neat. I feel like I'm getting a real workout out of it, but more importantly, it's strange that even though it's dry fire training, for me to get my rounds to not kind of bounce all over the target, because it simulates recoil, my brain sees the slide recoil, so I feel like it's recoiling. For me to like get a grip on the controller and make sure that that is not happening, it does take engagement of all my muscles and proper shooting technique and proper shooting form. So you're getting that forearm workout, you're getting the quad workout, and you're getting that glute workout while you're playing this, which is really, really cool. So what do I like about it? Obviously, I like the training aspect. I like the simulation aspect. I think it's a fun game. I like that. I really do enjoy it. I think that it's a great game to play. Like I said, I like seeing the Facebook group where there's people who are showing their like one-to-one like courses to ace scores, and they're finding that it's starting to line up, which shows a promise to the system that it is functional and effective. Not so much like I had with the Mantis system, where I'm just kind of, you're like, every other system, it feels like I'm just memorizing an order. And in this one, it feels like I'm not so much memorizing an order as I am actually building skills and actually building timing and actually building course experts. So I like that. I like that you can practice unlimited times. I think that that's fantastic, that I'm able to just keep practicing courses and not shoot nonstop. Drawbacks with it, yeah, there are a few. So it's $200 for this, like I said, and they don't have a Glock, which is a big deal. They have an MR920 in the game. They don't have extended mags for the MR920, because I was just going to say, like, oh, MR920, I'll throw my comp optic on it, and I'll throw a 21-round mag in it and call it good. But right now, as of this video, they don't even let you put extended mags in your MR920, so it's a 15-round gun, and not really, in my opinion, usable for comps or for comp practice, since it's not even close to that. So I'm still shooting with the staccato in the game, and printing the Glock grip, because they also don't sell a Glock grip, or I would just buy it. Like I said, that file will be released and down below as soon as I finish it. But yeah, big bummer there. I think that's a drawback. The other drawback I have is, although you get unlimited practice runs on courses and you get to shoot them as many times as you want, there is no course direction on courses. So one of the biggest things that you learn in classes from like Sailor and Ben Stoker is strategy for shooting. So your order of shooting in whatever the most effective biomechanics is. David, Humble Marksman, hammers in on this too, but your biomechanics don't get to be like you're able to practice but not trained. So there is no training for most effective biomechanics. You just kind of have to keep shooting the courses and learn what the fastest way to shoot the course is. So that's kind of a disadvantage. I wish that there was like a like a fundamentals of movement class in there, which they could easily add later on. Not to say that they won't, because they could. They have a lot of other skills training like accuracy at distance, target acquisition. One of my favorites is the target transitions, and it constantly gets less and less time for you to transition targets until it's so ridiculously fast that I don't know how people do it. So that's really fun. The other downside of the game is it's a $13 a month subscription. I get it, but they probably have... I know the group has over 7,000 members, so you have to realize they've said they're a small team, which they are. Yes, the subscription fee is something that sucks, but I think it's necessary, and when I justify it as I'm not shooting so many rounds of ammunition, because, I mean, in my first 2 days of shooting this, I shot almost 6,000 rounds downrange with it. So it is $13 subscription fee. You just have to keep that in mind when you buy it. And then obviously you have to print your own grips or buy a printed grip from someone in the Facebook group who makes and sells them for way too much money. And that's kind of, that's the only drawbacks. That and like I said, the no training for biomechanics and kind of teaching you, like, the other thing is if you are a new shooter, like straight up new, and you're looking to get into competition shooting, there's no fundamentals on stance. There's no fundamentals on that. So if you don't know how to like stand with the gun, you're obviously going to shoot wrong and learn wrong strategies. Hopefully that gets corrected when you go to a first match. But if it doesn't, then yeah, you are in fact learning the wrong fundamentals and dry firing them into your system and burning them in, which maybe we'll see people become extremely effective with weird shooting stances out of this. I don't know. I feel like the stances that are popular exist because they are good. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, those are my issues, and then sometimes there are glitches. So one of the matches that I did until this morning or last night, it actually said like shoot the left target and then the left popper and then the right target and the rightmost popper, but there were no poppers. It was a plate rack and then targets, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. And then someone posted on Facebook that I had that complaint, and for some reason this seems to be the fastest way to get it fixed. You post on the Facebook group that you're having this problem, and then it gets fixed, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess that's cool. Like, I don't use Facebook, but I have to for this, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's cool that it gets fixed. So it did get fixed, and what they meant is you shoot the left target and then the left plate and then the right target and then the rightest plate and then again the left target and the leftist plate, and you're just knocking down the plate rack in order. So if you've also had that problem, it's called transition hell, I believe. So if you've also had that problem and not done that course, that's how you do it. I had no idea. So that's cool that they fixed that finally. And then, other issues with the game, there's like, it's little bugs, it's meta. I feel like meta's kind of, VR itself is still kind of in beta, whether they choose to admit it or not. It's still kind of a beta system. So all the glitches that come with that, if there's not enough light in the room, it kind of glitches around. If I'm recording in 1080p 60, it glitches for me all the time. And then sometimes you'll shoot a knockdown target that is an activator, and it won't activate the swinger because it'll fall slowly, which does happen in real life, but it's stressful that it happens on the game because there's no like predictableness to it. It's just kind of random and it feels like it's lagging. So that is it. So hopefully that is helpful. I think people who need ACE, like I said, if you're a new shooter and you're looking to get into USPSA, there is no better thing to purchase, honestly. It will get you familiar with the boxes. It'll get you familiar with the terms that you're going to hear. It's going to get you familiar with routes you're going to run. It's going to get you access to swinger targets, fold down targets, everything like that. It is invaluable as a purchase for someone who's getting into USPSA. I think it is something that for experienced shooters, it's still extremely valuable, especially if you're like more experienced in the USPSA and you aren't like super ranked or you're not ranked or you wish you could practice all the qualifiers more. Like I said, the USPSA qualifiers are in there. So if being able to get, a second knocked off your time in a qualifier is worth it to you, I would say it's worth doing the system there. It's really cool. The game seems to be evolving nonstop. There's new courses every single week. There's new challenges every single day. The only thing that I will say is that lead seems to be difficult for me to get. I haven't quite mastered that yet. It seems like I spend it as fast as I get it. And then when they do a daily challenge, you have to run the daily challenge cold. They don't let you do practice runs on the daily challenge. You just get 3 attempts when you click go. So warm up before you click the daily challenge. I learned that the hard way a bunch of times. And then be ready to cry because you don't have enough lead, and also get locked into a game. From someone who hates video games, I've spent more time playing this than I should, to be honest, and to the point where it's like I feel like a gamer girl. for how much time I spent on this. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you like our channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I am, again, starting to compete again for the summer because the weather's lightening up, and the ranges around me will start doing these. So if you want to see competition footage, if you'd like to see stuff like that, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know. If you're not interested or you want this for like the training aspect, I don't know. I just felt like this was a good video to make on what I think is a very good product in the industry, and something that you guys might find interesting. So with that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next video. I love you, and give your mom a high five for me. Thanks.